Hello, this is Thomas Südpacker speaking. Today the topic is using an AngularJS Browserify project template to implement a IBM IoT Foundation web application. The project is available on GitHub and is organized by objectives, used frameworks, how to set up the sample, and so on. At least the main focus is building a web application which looks like this. For sure, I reused some other samples available on GitHub and on the web to realize the sample. So the basic thing was how to use all these Browserify things in context with Angular. A very good blog is here. It's also available on the documentation inside of the GitHub, and you can inspect by yourself. And the other sample I use is the connected car web application Digital Analytics. This is where I get my data from, my IoT data from. So I have these set up, and this is my IBM IoT instance, service instance on Plumix. Let us take a brief look at the sequence diagram, which is also available on GitHub. The Node.js server is requested by the browser and leads to the IoT chart HTML, which is related to the chart.js module IoT chart. Inside the IoT chart, we will utilize the app client to do all the IoT stuff, to connect to the IoT, to register to the events, and doing stuff if device information or event information comes from the device. Here we will use the payload to configure the chart information and also the payload itself, so that later on it's shown on the web application. Let us start with clone the GitHub repository on a local PC. On my Mac I have an open terminal to clone the Git repository, and I open up the Atom, the folder where I download or where I clone the project into. So when the clone is finished, so you can see that the project is available inside the Atom. So we will start, take a look into the different files. Let us take a look in the document folder. The document folder contains several bash files I utilize doing tasks like things for Git and also for staging inside Plumix or deploy to Plumix. Here you have to insert the Plumix API information, your organization, the space, and to make these bash files easily executable, I implement a short bash file which changes the mode for every bash file which is inside this folder. So you have to only change once the mode for the file, and then it's done for every other file. Inside the bash files related to Plumix, there is to do the configuration with the Plumix ID and things like that, so you can easily adjust to your needs. The bash file we will use in this sample does everything which is needed to create the packages for the web application, create a browsified web application, and push the application to Plumix. Before we start the bash file start sample, for sure we have to insert the credentials to the IoT Foundation JSON file, which is used in the web application. When the bash file has finished its task, you will see additional Cloud Foundry application, Node.js application in my Plumix instance. Next task is to execute the bash file and start sample and watch what happens. First, what we have to do is to insert the root credentials, for the npm installation. The reason is our Browserify command later on needs access to folders, and this is automatically done by or enabled by using the sudo command. When the npm installation is done and the Browserify is also done, we're going to deploy to Bluemix. I insert my password for my Bluemix ID. Then I push the application to Bluemix, and if the application does not exist, like in my sample right now, you have seen it's not already there, it will create a new one because we have the configuration there to do this. Now we will take a look what happens inside our Bluemix, and we can see here the application is going to be installed. And now I notice I forgot one little thing. If we want later on to observe our vehicle or all types of vehicles, so we must give the application the information what's to listening for, and I forgot to insert this. And now we will do this on the places where it's needed, and we can also configure a little bit the chart to reflect maybe the first car and the second car. Because we did now changes to our implementation, we need once again to Browserify. So we just run the whole script again. The npm will not install fully twice because most of the information is already there, so the deployment is much faster, and then we deploy once more the application to Bluemix. When the application is started, we can start the URL, and yeah, we can see the application is running, and we directly insert the path to our chart, and yeah, and we can see the chart is running. Now we can observe the Browserify app.js file directly in our output here with the development tools, and because of the situation that is not uglified, so we really can do a good debugging and see what happens, and also take a look at the console output. I hope the information was useful for you, and thanks for watching.